you know, breaking physical bonds is marvelously enlivening, and I think that I perhaps got into dance through music. I heard a lot of music, of course, in the studio, but also I was taken very early in my life to a lot of music performances of all sorts. I think that I was naturally musical, but all of that very early hearing certainly made a tremendous difference to me. And I'll tell you that I had a very good jump for a woman. And I'll tell you that defying gravity for even a very short moment is very exhilarating. But moving to music and expressing the music is very satisfying. What really interested me to begin with was seeing the English ballerina Margot Fontaine dance in St. Louis. I was 14, and I think that's quite a vulnerable age. And the thing that really impressed me most, I mean, she was a wonderful actress too, but she was so musical that when you were watching her, you could almost see the music just spinning out of her body. So that has just been a wonderful satisfaction to me. And so far as the choreography is concerned, very much the same kind of thing. And you know, when you manage to do something that satisfies you in the way of form and expression of the music, it's just a wonderful feeling.
Halcyone Perlman has been teaching classical ballet in Columbia, Missouri for 6 decades. That longevity is remarkable, but it is not Perlman's longevity alone that resulted in her being chosen as a Boone County Hall of Fame recipient for 2024. Nor was it her impressive list of international ballet stars and instructors from whom she learned to dance and to teach. But that list is, by itself, also remarkable. Halcyone Perlman was chosen as one of 4 new Hall of Famers this year because her extraordinary gift for making a lasting imprint on her students by the way she teaches is something quite rare. Whether it's teaching the positions, interpretation, or lines, Halcyone has made a lasting impression on her students that is founded in love, respect, passion, and self-exploration. She has made thousands of dancers of all ages and skill sets better humans. There are students who began taking from Halcyone in the late 1960s or 70s who are still taking her classes today. And that's not just because it's a leisurely pursuit or they just want to stay in shape. It's because they love her and the art form and what both have taught them about life.
My relationship with Halcyone began when I was 6 years old, so I've known Halcyone almost all my life. She certainly began as my teacher and eventually became someone that I looked up to as a leader. She was instrumental in helping me stay on a healthy path in life. Growing up in the 70s and 80s, there were a lot of distractions in the world at the time, and Halcyone was a steady force in my life, as I believe Halcyone was a steady force in many people's lives.
Of course, her mother was her first ballet instructor, but Halcyone reached out far and wide to obtain instruction from ballet stars the world over. Over the years, those ballet stars' names included Madame Victoria Kassan, Alexandra Danilova, Igor Shweshov, and Joan Hewson. In 1966, she uses her natural pluck to achieve her goal of participating in a cultural exchange that was to bring English dancers to Russia for master classes. the resourceful and feisty young Columbia dancer first approached the Russian embassy in Washington, D.C. in person and insisted on a conversation on the matter. She wasn't successful. But then she wrote a letter directly to the English organizer in London, and then didn't hear back for months, until with just a month left before the tour was to begin, she finally got a letter that said yes, and that she was due in London to pick up Polish and Russian visas in less than a month. That tour took her, among other places, to the world-famous Imperial Ballet schools in Leningrad and Moscow. Shortly after Halcyone's return to the States and to Columbia, her mother passes away unexpectedly in 1967. Halcyone chooses to continue the dance studio and becomes the studio's owner and manager. Even while running the studio, she continued to travel over the years to obtain the best instruction where she could, and that meant return trips to Ontario, Canada, New York, and London, where by then she now had many friends in each city. The Perlman Studio of Dance stood for a long time on South Providence Road in Columbia, but it is now located in the village of Cherry Hill. Halcyone manages the studio, now the Perlman Stoy School of Ballet, with her longtime friend and fellow instructor, Nancy Stoy. Stoy is one of those students who have been taking from Halcyone for over 50 years.
She started out as my teacher and quickly became a close friend. Then she became my mentor. So I now lease the studio from Halcyone and teach my students here. Oftentimes, the student doesn't realize what they're capable of. It gives them a sense of the intelligence to follow what they're meant to do, even if it's not dancing. It's the discipline. It's the attention to detail. It's being able to take correction gracefully. It's honoring the person who's giving you that correction, so that when you're what we call the real world, they can handle the real world because they've been trained in such a way that it enables them to be humble, accepting, true to their word, loyal, all these qualities that we all wish we had more of.
Today, the studio remains what it always has been, a place to learn and grow, both a respite and a place where storytelling, strength, beauty, and respect for the art form and for each other are all shared and cultivated. The work of creating beautiful dancers and better humans continues. Ladies and gentlemen and esteemed friends, please welcome into the Boone County Hall of Fame, Halcyone Perlman.